1-point win over the Broncos. Peter, please, again, speak on that man, Sean Payton, and how he started this game.
And they come out and they do an onside kick to start the game, which is so reminiscent of Peyton in the Super Bowl. And they would have had it if one of his guys didn't touch it. Right? This is how they start the Sean Payton era.
Season.
So to go to the fourth wall, I'll tell you, I'm sitting in the Fox Sports green room with all of Sean Payton's colleagues from last year when this happens. And it's Jay Glazer, and it's Michael Strahan, and it's Howie, and it's Terry, and it's Gronk, and everyone's freaking out like, Sean, you dog! You dog! They didn't get it.
They got it. It was an illegal touching. You can't touch before 10 yards.
And like Westfall,
so they don't get possession.
Mike Westfall, who's the legendary special team coach, is on the sideline. He's getting going. Like
the guys loved it.
Look at them.
The guys loved it. Everyone loved it. And look at the sideline. It loved it. And then the defense came out hitting. And so, do they miss? Does this play not work? Yeah, but like that's a statement.
Yeah,
it's a statement, and that's what Sean Payton wanted. But at the end of the day, Jimmy Garoppolo's a winner, man. Like Jimmy Garoppolo's a winner.
That's a tough left turn you just took.
That drive at the end.
Gotta give him his due.
I'll tell you, like it was all vibes, and the Broncos were up in this game, and they had it late, and then Jimmy on a 3rd and 7. Just rips your heart out, as he does, and scrambles for 8 yards, put the game away. It's never pretty. His face might be pretty, but his game is never necessarily aesthetically pleasing. And yet they find a way, and the Raiders go on the road and upset the Broncos. And Jamie, it wasn't upset. You were right. The Raiders were underdogs in this one, and they find a way. So the Sean Payton era starts off with an L, just like the Hackett era did. And yet,
it wasn't just like it.
It kind of felt like the Broncos had some juice.
Yeah,
it did.
I really like the onside kick, and not just because it's like, oh, he's going for this. Like, it was planned out. They saw something in the Raiders that, hey, we can get this surprise onside kick. And it was executed, to your point. He just touched it a little early. For me, as watching the game, onside kick, beyond that, the Broncos just didn't put up a lot of points. And you looked at it early on in the first half, Russ was really good, didn't have many incompletions. Sean Payton comes in, offensive guru. I want to see points from the Broncos offense. I want to see the reason Sean Payton brought in there so Russ can go out there and cook, whether he's running around throwing it, whether he's handing it off. I want to see 20, 30 points.
What'd you think of Russ? 7 of 8 in one drive, like to open it. Like Russ looked good, but there wasn't the big play.
Yeah, and they didn't put points on the board. You can say, oh, it was efficient. It looked really good. It was 17-16. I want to see 25-20. You want to see the points. That's the reason they went out and got Sean Payton.
The Sean Payton kickoff thing is amazing. On Red Zone, it played really well, too, because they're not covering it. So Hansen has to update you on, let me show you what happened in Denver. And you go back and oh, my God, he did the onside kick. I mean, it was like a rock star who goes away for years, and then his first gig back, like he plays his biggest hit. You know, like you think of Sean Payton, you think of the onside kick. I guess the difference would be in the Super Bowl, they're doing it to like, we're not going to give the ball back to Peyton Manning. Like, we're not going to go back to Jimmy Garoppolo. Like,
he's a winner.
What was the motivation there exactly? They didn't get it. It didn't work. But in spite of myself, I couldn't help but think it was really cool that they tried it. I respect someone who just says, screw it. I'm doing things my way. I'm going to put my stamp on this. We don't get it. We don't get it. Russ had like cool flashes. They really did. Like where last year it was almost unrecognizable. And we're gonna get to the point where we're not gonna talk about last year anymore. And I hope it's soon. He showed flashes where it's like, oh, that's Russ. That guy has it. That guy, let's ride. Let's go to the Hall of Fame. But ultimately, just not enough. And the Garoppolo just Garoppolo'd at the end and moved the chains and fine. Listen, Denver lost at home to the Raiders. Like that's not a great day for Denver. I think we got excited about the onside kick because it was rock and roll. But in the end, we got 16 points under Peyton. Like, are we going to just have like the frosting, Sean, or are we going to have some cake with this too? Let's get some wins.
Once again, I think Sean Payton just wanted to make sure it's his house. He makes the decisions. He calls the shots, and they wanted to go down in infamy to start the season with the onside kick. It's going to be a trivia question later on. I agree with you, the Russell Wilson experience. Last year, I felt like he would start to scramble, and I would say, like, what are you doing? Please don't do that. What did he see there? And yesterday it was, what are you doing? Oh, okay, that made sense. I can get on board with that. So that's good for the Broncos, if nothing else. But
Need those dubs.